Hey everyone, it is Tanya. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you are new here. Today I am back with another apartment renovation, and we are renovating Stonestreet Apartments number 4 in Evergreen Harbor. This is going to be a 2-bedroom family apartment that is for a family that celebrates multiple holidays for this time of year. I've done this a few times in the past, and I always think it's really fun to decorate homes for the holidays, especially when there's kids in the house, and it's always nice to represent families that celebrate more than one holiday. So you will see in this house there are lots of Christmas decorations, but I also have a menorah and some other decorations associated with Hanukkah. And it makes even more sense this year because this year Hanukkah, the first night of it, falls on Christmas. So I felt like it was very appropriate for this apartment in this year, and I really hope that all of you are having a fantastic holiday season and you have a wonderful holiday, whichever one you celebrate. I am uploading this on Christmas Eve, so thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really hope you will enjoy this build. If you do and you'd like to download it, it will be available right now on the Sims 4 gallery. You can find it under my EA ID, which is Gryphi, Gryphi. You could also find it under the hashtag Gryphi, and that information, as always, is in the description down below as well. And before we get any further into the video, I just quickly wanted to let you know that there is another huge sale going on right now on the EA app for the holiday season. And the discounts are even better than Black Friday. Lots of content is 50% off, and a few expansion packs are even 60% off, like Cottage Living, High School Years, Growing Together, and Horse Ranch. The sale goes on through January 2nd, so if you've been thinking about grabbing some new Sims packs, now is a fantastic time to do so. And if you do, please consider using my code Gryphi at checkout. You just enter it when purchasing on the EA app, and it doesn't cost you anything extra. It's just another way to support me as a creator, so thank you in advance if you decide to use my code, and thanks to EA for sponsoring this portion of the video. So at this point, the floor plan has come together. I started with having something that was a little bit more closed off as far as the floor plan goes, but I did knock down those walls to have it slightly more open concept. There's definitely zones on where everything is supposed to be, like the dining room is kind of tucked over in a nook, and this is our kitchen space, which I changed the counters and cabinets in here so many different times because I was very indecisive about how I wanted it to look, but once I figure it out, I feel like the rest of this apartment came together so nicely, and I'm actually figuring it out now, which is that I used these counters here from Horse Ranch in this beautiful green swatch with the wooden countertops. I think it is just so pretty, and I really like the island I created in the center here as well, which is using a couple of console tables from the Crystal Creations stuff pack. So just playing around with where I want everything to be here. I'm going to be moving the sink and also trying so many different wallpapers here, so many different tiles to figure out what would work best in this kitchen. So I tried this sort of diagonal or diamond shaped tile with the brown swatch, and I do a few other ones before I settle on the green tile from Parenthood. I think it looks so pretty. I very much leaned into the greens in this apartment, and I was at first thinking I was going to mostly do green and red, and I have a lot of that going on, and later on in the build, it definitely transitions to more green and blue, and I was very, very happy with that. I think it's a really fun color scheme, but you'll see the process as we go through it as I try different decorations and different wallpapers. It's definitely a longer process to get there, but I was happy that I stuck with it. Sometimes when you're taking a long time to make decisions like this, you end up giving up on a build, and I'm glad I didn't. And I also did cut out a lot of that decision process because it can be a little annoying to watch. But here I am decorating the counters. I have a bunch of different like tins over here of a variety of different items. There's like a bread box and a couple of tins that could be for coffee or tea or whatever you'd like them to be for. Those ones are from the Country Kitchen kit. I also have some utensils next to the stove. I sized down a Christmas tree, and then I am swapping out the appliances in here to be these ones also from the Country Kitchen kit, which I thought were so pretty. And at this point, I decided I wanted to use these curtains from For Rent, and they stay for a very long time, but they don't end up staying forever. I decided against them in the end. At first, they were bright red. I changed them to white, and then I changed them to a swatch that's like red and yellow. And those stayed for a while and ended up throughout the rest of the apartment, but then I got rid of them because I didn't like them anymore. But I just placed down some challah on the little like island piece that I created. I definitely wanted to include that in here. I also added some really pretty greenery that is from Seasons, and a tray that I believe came from the Artist Studio kit that has a vase and some fruit on it. Then I'm going to be placing down these like chairs, these stools at the table, your Sims can't actually like eat at that table because those chairs do not slot to it. But I thought it looked cute, so that's what I ended up going with. And then this is that swatch of the curtain I had mentioned. Since I decided to get rid of most of the red in this apartment, those don't end up staying, I actually end up using a curtain from Cats and Dogs. That is a blue sort of plaid pattern, and I think it works so much better. So you'll see that in a little while. And I also decided to have the menorah over here on the dining table. I tried a few different dining tables and I ended up going with this one from the Cozy Kitsch kit in the end. I keep forgetting it exists, so I haven't used it that much, but it's such a nice, simple table and it's a 6-seater as well, so I really need to start using it more. It's just such a staple piece. I feel like I should be using in a lot more builds, but it worked beautifully here. I also really loved the light that I used in this section of the apartment. It is from the holiday pack. It just has some beautiful greenery on top, and then I'm just decorating this hutch here with a couple of pieces of holiday decor, some gifts, and also a painted plate. I like to include those in my family homes. I think it looks so nice. And of course, some of this cute artwork also from the holiday pack. Moving into the living room now, though, I decided to use these sofas from Crystal Creations. I think they are so pretty, like really stunning love seats. And for most of the build, they do stay brown. Towards the very end, I changed them to blue because I just thought that it worked a little bit better here. And also in the most recent login event situation we just had, the like cozy holiday, I'm not sure what it's called event, one of the things you could get was a frame TV that has some really pretty holiday scenes on it. So that is what I'm using here. And I just used the tool mod to pull it so that it is off the wall and sits on the fireplace instead. And I'm going to be doing that again right now with a couple of these cards that I hang over the fireplace as well. These ones are from Seasons, and I chose them because they have a lot of imagery on them for Hanukkah, such as there are some dreidels and things like that on there and some foods associated with the holiday as well. And then I am starting to switch out the curtains to these ones instead from Cats and Dogs. I love these curtains. I feel like I use them a lot, and that's because I do. I just think they work so well in a lot of homes. They're so cozy. So I thought that they worked perfectly here. And as you can see, I'm trying to play around with, do I want red? Do I want green? What do I want here? And I chose green at this point. I think I kept them green once I changed the sofas to blue later, but we shall see together. I also decided to add a pile of presents over here, which I ended up moving. I moved a couple of things around afterwards, which you might notice like things are different in the thumbnail or the like little fly-in shot at the beginning of the video. And that is because there were some routing issues, so I did have to move a couple of things around. So those presents are in a different location, but I think they are also really pretty. I believe those ones are also from Seasons. And then I just got some artwork over here. I loved the like old the lamp. I liked the idea of that. Got like pushed around at some point because there are kids in this house. And then I also made sure the hallway had lots of space to hang up some family portraits. I think that's always so fun in The Sims to have pictures of your Sims like all over the walls and like the different stages of their lives. I really connect to that in the game. I don't really do it in real life though. But in game I really like it to do that. Anyway, this is the bathroom. I have a shower tub combo in here, my favorite one from Growing Together, and I paired it with a pretty simple base game sink, and then, you know, all of your basic bathroom needs that you would want. I do like the colors in here though. I'm using the same tile that I used in the kitchen. I just wanted it to feel cozy and like it matched the rest of the space. I always add some plants in here as well, and I believe some bathrobes. And I move the toilet over so it's closer to the wall because I think it looks nice when you can put the toilet paper on the like side wall, not on the same wall the toilet's on, because it's more realistic for being able to grab that. Not that your Sims are actually using it, it's just a decor item, but that is something that when I'm able to, I like to try to do. So I did that, and then I got some more of those mason jar trees on top of the toilet, and then I brought in this welcome mat that I had by the front door as a bath mat that has some snow-covered trees. I thought that was really cute. And of course, by the entryway, I just wanted to make sure there was a space to hang up your coat, take off your shoes, all of that. And then I should be heading back to the dining room because I realized this wall here did not have anything on it. So I decided to make a gallery wall out of a variety of different art pieces in the game, just kind of moving them around, rescaling them, trying to find the best layout. And I get there in the end. I think it ends up looking really cute. And it's a like combination of photos I don't think I've put together before, so that was kind of fun. And then we are moving into the kids' room, which is actually bigger than the primary bedroom. I thought it would be nice to have the bigger room go to the kids. I think that's pretty realistic in apartments, that you might have like more kids in one room, so they get the bigger room. So that was the idea here. And I really leaned into the blue color scheme in this space. I really wanted to use these beds from the kids room pack. I almost never use them, but I love the trees on them, and I paired it with this gorgeous wallpaper from Parenthood, and then also brought in a dark brown wall on a couple of the walls. I did that throughout the entire apartment. It just warmed up the space, and I just end up filling this room with toys and all sorts of clutter. I feel like these kids are into so many different things, and I of course also added some like cards and things associated with the holidays these Sims celebrate. So that way it looked like maybe they had just made some crafts at school. That's pretty realistic. And those are hung up in here as well. But for the most part, I feel like this whole apartment could easily have the decorations taken down and be just like your average everyday apartment. So I was pretty happy with that. I didn't want it to be too over the top, but there's definitely plenty of decor around. I also added some shelves over here, which I'm going to fill up with all sorts of like kid clutter. There's going to be some like little figurines and statues and stuff. I also got the tooth fairy on the wall and lots of posters. It ends up just having so many different interests because that's what I like to do for kids' rooms. Sometimes I lean into a theme where like, oh, this kid just like loves space or dinosaurs. But a lot of the time it's a bit of everything because I think that's way more realistic. So there's robots in here and sports and void critters and arts and crafts and stuffed animals. There's just a lot of everything. So I ended up getting actually a Bob Pancakes figurine up there. There's a little like robot guy, and I of course had to put some clutter on the floor as well. Some like messy clothes and backpack and all of that. And then I ended up actually putting 2 desks in here so each of the Sims could have their own workspace. And I just ended up cluttering up the top of that. They also get their own little mini Christmas tree in here. I thought that that was a cute idea. And I also made sure to get a radio and just lots of clutter that makes sense for a desk, or just stuff that could have been thrown around. Like there's a football up here. We have some schoolwork. There's a pile of clothes on the floor and boxes and just a bunch of stuff. I wanted it to feel kind of messy, but everything sort of has its own place. So that was the idea here. And then of course getting some more like art up on the walls and a mirror as well as a nice lamp. And that is it for that room. And we are heading into the primary bedroom where I tried a few different beds. So we're hopping right on in with the first one, which is from Modern Luxe. And I cut out some of it, but I ended up actually going with this base game one in the end, which I think works so much better. It still brings in that green color scheme throughout the rest of the house. And this room is just like super cozy, greens and browns, very earthy. And it brings in a couple of the decorations as well, like those jars with the trees in them, which I overuse in all of my holiday builds. They're just such a nice, subtle piece of decor. And I really like them because I don't like putting Christmas trees in every room. I do have a full-size one in the living room, a small one on the counter in the kitchen, and then a small one in the kids' bedroom because that made sense to me, but I didn't really want another one in this room, so the jars made the most sense to me. Kind of over-explained that, but that's okay. Anyway, we are just going to be finishing decorating this room, and that will be it for the video. Just wanted to take another moment to say happy holidays to everyone, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, happy whatever holiday you celebrate, and thank you for hanging out with me all this year. It really means a lot. I can't believe we're already at the end of 2024. This year kind of flew by, but let me know what sort of content you would like to see for the remaining week of the year and what you would like to see in January. And then we should be heading on into screenshots. So thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more, and click that bell to be notified when I upload. And thank you to my YouTube members for all of your support. If you'd like to become a member yourself, you can click the join button below the video or the link in the description. Have a fantastic holiday and a happy new year, and enjoy the screenshots, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye everyone.